Victor targets 3 minions. Kane's sneaky request, Billy balks. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for September 17th reveal that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, wants something from Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, is perfecting his intimidation techniques. On Wednesday we see Kane luxuriating in his luxury caboose, confident that Billy will do his dirty work for him by ruining Victor. Let's find out what these power moguls are doing to get the best of each other. Kane is confident. Billy is Billy's special AI software, and Kane is counting on Billy to bring Victor to his knees. All that's missing is Billy's confirmation that he wants to do business. Kane being Kane, he weasels in one more demand, although he may sweet-talk Billy into doing it. What does Kane want? He wants Billy to make things right with his mom Jill Abbott. Kane has a soft spot for Jill and wants her to live in comfort without worrying about Billy Boy. Can Billy make things right? But Billy resists because he's still frosty that Jill sold Chancellor to Victor and left him out. Billy is not pleased with Jill and Kane's bond. Will petty jealousy prevent them from reconciling? Elsewhere, OG Victor strategizes the downfall of 3 enemies. Billy, Kane, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, are the subjects of our discussion. At the same time, Jack meets with Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, to caution her about the chaos about to erupt in Genoa City. Jack is concerned about Kane's scheme, Victor's plot, and Billy being used as a test subject. Will Nikki think there is cause for concern? She doesn't like Victor going after their friends, but there is only so much she can do to intervene. What comes after in GC? After the meeting, Nikki may pump Victor for information. But, as we said, it is impossible for one person to stop Victor Newman when he has a full head of steam and a massive agenda. Explosive The Young and the Restless spoilers hint Victor and Jack will team up at some point, but first Nikki has her work cut out for her. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with The Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. Nick remains single. Is Sharon still interested? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, is single. Sharon Newman, Sharon case, is the same way. But does that mean anything after all their stops and starts through the years? Nick didn't reject Sharon's request that they explore a relationship again. But he didn't accept it either. Sharon was left wondering if he was interested in a reconciliation or if he had simply not reached that point yet, as she had. Morrow's character believes they have sustained a good parenting connection and re-established their friendship in recent years. Sharon is willing to put her heart at risk, despite the fact that he doesn't want to risk those positive outcomes. Why isn't this couple back together? This one-time mega couple's decision to never remarry is one of the more baffling decisions that multiple regimes have made since Sharon and Nick's divorce in the 2000s. Oh, there have been romantic reconciliations. The famous couple known as Schick also went to the altar twice, but neither time did they get married. So, fans have been taken on 2 rides that didn't pay off. That could be a reason why the audience is watching this storyline play like slow-drip molasses. In order for an authentic remarriage to happen, viewers want to know that they're not passengers on a 3rd ride that leads to nothing. Sharon Newman is nearly certain. Sharon can't be totally sure that she and Nick could remarry and make that repairing last. How could she be considering the terrible breakup they had following Cassie Newman's, Cameron Grimes, tragic death and the referenced 2 failed remarriage attempts? But one plot point remains certain. Sharon loves Nick more than any man she's ever known. Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, represented a reaction to Nick, and he was the polar opposite personality type. Nick has never been compared to anyone else since he was the bad boy Sharon was drawn to, but she eventually left. Is Sharon Newman the love of Nick Newman's life? This subject header is a good place to start because there's no doubt that Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, is someone Nick cares for deeply. Sharon's heart was broken the moment she entered the daytime spotlight. Devoted viewers recall that Phyllis wrecked Danny Romolotti's, Michael Damian, marriage to Christine Blair, Laura Lee Bell, back in the daytime day. However, Danny was conned by Phyllis into believing he was the father of her expectant child. Nick used his free will to cheat. Now, all these years later, Nick has reclaimed the ability to choose Sharon. But fans must wonder if he cares about righting the wrongs of the past or staying single indefinitely. Alternatively, Nick might believe that it wasn't wrong to abandon Sharon during the period of Cass's grief and take comfort with Phyllis. While Sharon's wound has healed, Nick's conscience has grown. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. Shocking Phyllis twist that no one sees coming. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that something is in the works with Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, that no one sees coming. Who will save Red's life this time and what is she up to? Phyllis Summers is a wild card. Everyone knows that Phyllis is a wild card and all that know her are trying to protect her in any way they can. No one in Genoa City likes that Phyllis has attached herself to Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and they are certain that he will leave her holding the bag when it comes to his AI takeover of all of the corporations in town. Naturally, Kane has persuaded Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, that he is giving him the AI program to kill Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and no one, not even Sally, who can usually at least get through Billy's thick skull, can persuade Billy otherwise. Could Phyllis be working them all in the meantime, including Kane? Phyllis Summers wanted to work with Aristotle Dumas. Phyllis was excited about working with Aristotle Dumas, Billy Flynn, until his identity was revealed in France. However, one could see the facial changes in Phyllis as Kane told her his plan. Phyllis wasn't lured by Kane's plan at all when he revealed it to her. She seemed to be more disgusted by it than anything. However, Phyllis played along and is all Team Kane, or so she wants everyone to believe. Looking at Phyllis while she is taking all of Kane's plans it seems that she may be making a plan of her own in the background. If you watch closely, you will see the subtle signs that Phyllis' gears are turning in her head, spinning her own twist. Could Kane's cheerleader be his rival? Kane apparently hasn't noticed that while Phyllis is cheering him on with his takeover plans, she is also gathering more and more information that includes specifics of Kane's plans and he is handing them to her. What Kane isn't saying seems to be the exact information that Phyllis wants and she's using his other employees to put the picture together for her. Phyllis appears to be attempting to protect everyone from Kane and his takeover in an effort to demonstrate herself to Genoa City's top brass once and for all, despite the fact that everyone in Genoa City, including Phyllis' children, is looking for her demise. Can Phyllis turn the tables, save everyone, and eliminate Kane on her own? What would the leader in Genoa City think? Keep watching to find out. Come here for all things Y&R. Check back often for The Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. While Phyllis is cheering him on with his takeover plans, she is also gathering more and more information that includes specifics of Kane's plans and he is handing them to her. What Kane isn't saying seems to be the exact information that Phyllis wants and she's using his other employees to put the picture together for her. Phyllis appears to be attempting to protect everyone from Kane and his takeover in an effort to demonstrate herself to Genoa City's top brass once and for all, despite the fact that everyone in Genoa City, including Phyllis' children, is looking for her demise. Can Phyllis turn the tables, save everyone, and eliminate Kane on her own? What would the leader in Genoa City think? Keep watching to find out. Come here for all things Y&R. Check back often for The Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. The wild card returns. Phyllis Summers has always been the character who thrives in the shadows between chaos and order. When she walks into a room in Genoa City, there's a ripple effect. Conversations shift, eyes follow, and speculation begins. Her fiery red hair isn't just a physical marker, it's a symbol of her unpredictability and her relentless drive to never be underestimated. Time and time again, Phyllis has proven that she can spin disaster into opportunity, betrayal into leverage, and failure into reinvention. Now, as whispers swirl about her connection to Kane Ashby and his high-stakes artificial intelligence takeover plot, the question is not whether Phyllis is playing a dangerous game, it's whether she is writing her own rules while everyone else is too busy underestimating her. Those closest to Phyllis, from Nick Newman to Jack Abbott, have learned the hard way that aligning themselves with her can mean being pulled into the storm. But it is equally true that standing against her can often mean being destroyed by it. She is the epitome of a survivor, a woman who overcomes obstacles to succeed. Because of this, she is more than just a wild card. Rather, she is a disruptor who is able to upend alliances, derail plans, and outmaneuver the very people who believe that they are using her as a pawn. Kane Ashby's dangerous bet. Kane Ashby has always been a man desperate to prove himself. Deception, false identities, and schemes marked his years-old arrival in Genoa City, eventually revealing his deep flaws. However, he has managed to grow over time and reinvent himself as a power-hungry businessman and man. His most ambitious and riskiest wager to date may be the artificial intelligence program that he claims can demolish Victor Newman's empire. Kane has pitched himself as a visionary, but his track record suggests he's more opportunist than innovator. The irony is that Kane truly believes he's the puppet master in this scenario. He has convinced Billy Abbott that their uneasy alliance is built on trust, promising him the keys to take down Victor once and for all. Kane knows Billy's long-standing vendetta against Victor makes him vulnerable, and he exploits it expertly. But Kane's arrogance blinds him to one critical flaw in his design. Phyllis Summers is not, and has never been, the type of woman to sit quietly in anyone's shadow. Phyllis' thinly veiled disgust. When Kane first unveiled his plan, Phyllis' reaction wasn't excitement, it was disgust. The audience could see it in her micro-expressions, the subtle tightening of her jaw, the flicker of disdain in her eyes. But Phyllis is not a woman who telegraphs her every move. Instead, she allowed Kane to believe that she was seduced by his vision, offering him her full-throated support while inwardly calculating her next steps. It's a classic Phyllis maneuver: smile sweetly, nod at the right moments, and make her so-called allies think they've won her over. Meanwhile, she's collecting every morsel of information, piecing together the bigger picture, and identifying the cracks in the foundation of their schemes. Kane thinks he has a cheerleader, but in reality, he has a spy across the table who may be planning his demise more effectively than anyone else in Genoa City. The shadow of Aristotle Dumas. Another wrinkle in this saga is the shadowy figure of Aristotle Dumas. Initially introduced as a potential partner for Phyllis, Aristotle's identity reveal in France shifted the ground beneath her. She saw something in him, perhaps brilliance, perhaps danger, that made her hesitate. The disappointment in Phyllis' face when Aristotle's mask slipped was palpable, but it also fueled something else inside her, the hunger to regain control of her narrative. In this particular circumstance, Phyllis may actually be motivated by her disappointment with Aristotle. If she couldn't align herself with Dumas as she initially hoped, perhaps Kane has become a placeholder, a temporary means to an end. But Phyllis is a warning to Kane: she never stays with placeholders for long. She uses them, extracts what she needs, and discards them when their usefulness runs dry. The duality of Phyllis' agenda. One of the most fascinating aspects of this storyline is Phyllis' duality. On the surface, she appears to be Kane's most loyal supporter, nodding along as he describes his grand AI takeover plans and even hyping his brilliance to others in town. Yet, beneath the surface, Phyllis is quietly dismantling his house of cards. She has begun to gather information from every angle: Kane's employees, rival corporations, even whispers from Billy's camp. Where Kane withholds details, Phyllis finds ways to fill in the blanks. This isn't merely curiosity, it's strategy. Phyllis isn't gathering this intel to protect Kane, she's gathering it to protect herself, and perhaps even to protect Genoa City from the implosion that would inevitably follow Kane's unchecked ambitions. The redemption angle. For years, Phyllis has been painted as the villain, the schemer, the troublemaker whose actions often caused collateral damage for her children, her lovers, and her business associates. Summer Newman and Daniel Romalotti have often pleaded with her to choose stability, to choose morality, but Phyllis rarely listens. This time, however, there is a glimmer of something different. If Phyllis truly positions herself as the person who unmasks Kane and stops his AI-fueled takeover before it destroys Genoa City's business landscape, she could achieve something she's rarely had: redemption. To expose Kane would not only protect Billy, Sally, Jack, and Victor from devastation, it would also prove to her children that she is capable of change, of growth, of becoming the hero instead of the chaos agent. But the lingering question is whether Phyllis is doing this out of selflessness, or if she sees redemption as just another form of power to wield. For Phyllis, the line between altruism and ambition has always been blurry. Kane's blind spot. Kane is so intoxicated by his own brilliance that he fails to see the trap forming around him. He believes Phyllis' loyalty is absolute, perhaps because he underestimates her intelligence or assumes she's desperate for relevance. But Kane's blind spot is his ego. He doesn't know that every conversation, confession, and piece of data he gives Phyllis is being compiled, analyzed, and used as a weapon. By the time Kane realizes that Phyllis is not merely a sidekick but a saboteur, it may be too late. He's so focused on Victor, on Billy, and on proving himself as a titan of innovation that he has overlooked the most dangerous player in the room, the one sitting at his side, smiling and quietly sharpening the knife.